We have different jihadis that want to kill me. The purple-haired jihadis, the woke guys.
Well, they want to kill me just as bad.
Probably.
Oh, they really do.
No, you've been very outspoken on the woke stuff. Big time.
Oh, yes. I mean, and they, just the way within a religion, they hate their own apostates more. I would say they hate me more because I'm supposed to like get on the short bus to Crazy Town with them. And I won't. And yet I'm still a liberal and still like, you know, I mean, we probably could argue all day about Donald Trump and what he's doing, which I'm not down with. But, you know, it's always the people who are closest who think, oh gosh, you shouldn't have.
Let's talk about Bill Maher. Yeah, that Bill Maher, the guy who says whatever he wants, no matter how angry it makes people. For years, the right has hated him. But now it's the left that's losing it. Why? Because he did the unthinkable. He had dinner with Donald Trump. Yep, just dinner. No secret deals, no endorsements, no backroom plots. Just a simple conversation between two men. Still, the left reacted like he'd handed Trump the nuclear codes personally. Larry David, even Larry David, called Maher a traitor, compared Trump to Hitler, and made it sound like the whole thing was the end of Western civilization. The funniest part? Trump saw it coming. During their chat, Maher said Trump actually agreed with him. He knew how extreme the left's outrage mob has become.
So MAGA fans, don't worry. Your boy gave me nothing. Just hats. Hats in a very generous amount of time and a willingness to listen and accept me as a possible friend, even though I'm not MAGA, which was the point of the dinner. My favorite part of the whole night was we were standing in the room. We were. And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really? That's what liberals have? He takes the out of everybody else and we can hold on.
Think about that. Two men who are supposed to hate each other, agreeing that the self-righteous culture police have gone too far. That's wild. But here's what really shocked people. Maher admitted he felt more comfortable talking to Trump than to Obama or Clinton. Yeah, let that sink in. Bill Maher, lifelong liberal and longtime Democratic supporter, saying he could be more real with Trump than with his own side's golden boys. That says a lot, and honestly, it explains something we've been noticing for years.
He left. I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days. He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan lawsuit. He was. I know. He said to Dana White, you know, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger. Just a little smile, as if to say,
remember J.D. Vance? He used to slam Trump, calling him every name imaginable. Then he met him in person, and suddenly he softened. Same thing with RFK Jr. We tore into Trump until they actually sat down together. Then he realized, wait a minute, this guy isn't what I thought. Trump has this strange magnetism that hits differently face to face. On TV, he's loud, combative, and over the top, but in person, he's surprisingly disarming, even charming. That's exactly what Maher said. Now, if you're a Democrat, that's scary because it shows the party doesn't just have a messaging problem, they have a personality problem. Their leaders seem stiff, fake, and hard to relate to. If even Bill Maher, one of their own, admits he couldn't connect with Obama or Clinton the way he did with Trump, that's a warning sign. But back to the backlash, that's where it gets juicy. Larry David went ballistic over the dinner. He wrote a scorching op-ed, basically accusing Maher of betraying his whole tribe.
You know, people can say, well, we're just comparing it in this way. Well, It's an argument you kind of lost just to start it. It's just, look, maybe it's not completely logically fair, but Hitler has really kind of got to stay in his own place. He is the goat of evil, and we're just going to have to, I think, leave it like that. So, you know, did I think that was appropriate? No, but people have the right to.
Did you know he was going to do it?
Of course not. And people.
How did you find out?
You know, my publicist said, this is going on today and you should know it. And I was like, oh.
Then CNN's Scott Jennings jumped in and fired back at David, saying, hold on, Maher did nothing wrong. That's when things blew up into one of the hottest debates we've seen in a while. And here's the kicker, Jennings was spot on. He explained that David's outrage wasn't just about punishing Maher, it was a warning to everyone else. Don't even think about doing the same thing. It was all about intimidation, sending a clear message. Don't talk to Trump, don't talk to the other side, or we'll come after you. That's cancel culture in a nutshell.
And the message of this is not to, because Bill Maher, first of all, I totally agree. He's totally in the right to do it, and I loved his monologue, but this isn't about that dinner. It's about the next one, because this is the modern left. It's an attempt always to intimidate people into not ever doing it again. It's to silence yourselves or we'll do it for you. That's the purpose of this op-ed, so that the next comedian or the next person on the American left chooses not to speak to Donald Trump. This is all an effort to get people not to do what you just said, which is to talk to each other.
Let's be honest, cancel culture isn't about justice. It's not about progress. It's about control, about deciding who gets to speak and who doesn't. And Maher knew it. That's why he called out the Hitler comparison for what it was. A cheap shot, a lazy argument, and honestly, an insult to the 6 million Jews killed in the Holocaust. You know you've lost the debate when Hitler becomes your go-to card, no pun intended. And you can tell Maher was genuinely shocked by David's over-the-top reaction.
Well, let's talk Larry David, because you're friends, aren't you? Were you friends? Are you friends?
Yes, of course. I mean, this wasn't, my favorite moment of our friendship, but, look, I don't want to get in too much into that, but I think the minute you play the Hitler card,
that's what I think.
You've lost the argument.
Yes.
And also, I must say, come on, man, Hitler, Nazis, nobody has been harder about and more prescient, I must say, about Donald Trump than me. I don't need to be lectured on who Donald Trump is. Just the fact that I met him in person didn't change that. And the fact that I reported honestly is not a sin either. But, to use the Hitler thing, first of all, I just think it's kind of insulting to 6 million dead Jews. Like that should kind of be in its own place.
Here's a guy who supposedly loves free speech and believes in open dialogue, suddenly turning on his friend just for talking. The hypocrisy is shocking. It's like free speech for me, but not for you. The second Maher stepped out of line, boom, traitor, outcast, enemy. That's the same playbook they've used on Rogan, Musk, RFK Jr., and anyone who refuses to follow the woke script. And remember, Maher has been one of the loudest critics of Trump for years. He's compared him to dictators, predicted he'd never leave office, and ripped into him relentlessly. Yet just having dinner with Trump was enough to label him a sellout. That says everything about how fragile the woke movement really is. Because here's the truth, wokeism isn't liberalism.
We're on different planets, obviously, on the spiritual religious stuff. But when you spoke against the woke, that for me was a proving moment. And I have to say something. And this is 100% true. You had more moral courage than pastors that I know that went along with the woke crazy train. And you deserve credit for that because it was of high cost.
Until we get rid of that, they're never going to win another election.
I agree. They're not going to take political advice from me.
No, but they might from me.
Maher nailed it when he said they're completely different. Liberalism is about living in a colorblind society, treating people equally, and respecting free speech and tolerance. Wokeism is about fixating on race, enforcing strict speech rules, and punishing anyone who steps out of line. It's not liberalism, it's authoritarianism wrapped in rainbow colors.
I'm going to ask, is it because they thought you were one of them and that...
I am one of them. They're not one of me. It's the liberals of two of them.
So they've left you, not you left.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's... Liberal and woke are two completely different things. It was a theme of my last stand-up special that I just did a few months ago. And it's basically... I mean, it wasn't the whole special, of course, but it was a large part of it devoted to that, to proving that case that, you know, what liberals believe, woke is something completely different. It's very often the opposite of it. You know, liberalism is, let's live in a colorblind society. That's the goal. Woke's goal is, we see race everywhere.
Race obsession.
Yes. Okay. So that's not liberal. You change. Liberal is, they're a two-state solution. Woke is river to the sea. Okay. So just don't take my word and say you're that.
Colors. And honestly, that's why so many lifelong liberals are starting to walk away. They're tired of being told what they can say, who they can talk to, and what they're allowed to believe. They're fed up with being policed by a loud, toxic minority pretending to speak for everyone. Maher said it himself. These people aren't even the majority, maybe 10%, but they're loud. And for too long, the rest of the party was too scared to stand up to them. But here's the interesting part. Maher isn't scared. Rogan isn't scared. Musk isn't scared. RFK Jr. isn't scared. These guys are willing to say, nope, I'm not boarding your short bus to Crazy Town. And every time they refuse, more people see through the illusion. More people realize that woke culture isn't about justice. It's about conformity. And the more the mob freaks out, the weaker they get.
They should.
Not the 10%, but that's 10%.
But they're very loud.
They're very loud, but that's it. And I, you know, as FDR once said, I welcome their hatred, because they're just, first of all, they have no integrity. They don't ever present the full argument. They just cherry pick. I mean, everybody does it to everybody. So I'm not saying I'm unique here, but that is part of the problem of our discourse, is that everybody just wants to forward their narrative. No one is really interested in the full truth. Just the truth. Just give me the truth.
Every tantrum, every smear campaign, every over-the-top accusation makes them look more ridiculous. Calling Trump Hitler because Bill Maher had dinner with him? Come on, that's not serious political discourse. That's playground-level name-calling dressed up as morality. Now, here's the big picture. If Democrats don't break free from this madness, they're doomed. 2028 won't just be another election. It could be a political bloodbath, because regular Americans are tired. They're tired of being lectured, tired of being divided, tired of watching their leaders obsess over nonsense while ignoring real problems. And if the Democrats keep letting the woke mob call the shots, they'll lose not just elections, but credibility itself.
We have different jihadis that want to kill me. The purple-haired jihadis, the woke guys.
Well, they want to kill me just as bad.
Probably.
Oh, they really do.
No, you've been very outspoken on the woke stuff. Big time.
Oh, yes. I mean, and they, just the way within a religion, they hate their own apostates more. I would say they hate me more, because I'm supposed to get on the short bus to Crazy Town with them, and I won't. And yet I'm still a liberal, and still I mean, we probably could argue all day about Donald Trump and what he's doing, which I'm not down with. But, it's always the people who are closest who think, oh gosh, you shouldn't have, you're a traitor.
Every tantrum, every smear, every over-the-top accusation just makes them look more ridiculous. Calling Trump Hitler because Bill Maher had dinner with him? Come on, that's not serious politics. It's playground name-calling dressed up as morality. Now here's the big picture. If Democrats don't break free from this madness, they're doomed. 2028 won't just be another election. It could be a political bloodbath. Regular Americans are tired. They're tired of lectures, tired of being divided, tired of watching leaders obsess over nonsense while ignoring real problems. And if the Democrats keep letting the woke mob run the show, they'll lose not just elections, but credibility itself. And let's be real, Maher isn't endorsing Trump. He's not switching sides or suddenly becoming a MAGA warrior. He's still a liberal and still criticizes Trump, still voting blue. But he's honest enough to call out when the left goes overboard. And that honesty, that's exactly what the woke mob can't stand. Because the one thing they fear more than Trump, more than conservatives, more than Republicans, is independent thought. So when Maher says, I'm still a liberal, but I'm not joining you on the crazy train, they lose it. To them, the apostates are worse than enemies. The guy who was supposed to be one of them suddenly broke ranks. That's unforgivable, and that's why they hate him more than actual conservatives. That says everything you need to know. This isn't about politics anymore. It's loyalty tests, tribalism, enforcing an orthodoxy where questioning the dogma makes you a heretic. It's not progress, it's religion, it's fanaticism. That's why Maher calls them purple-haired jihadis. Rage, purity tests, demand for blind loyalty. It's not liberal, it's cult behavior.